Hi there. As a pharmacist with over 20 years experience in the field, I get asked so many questions when people go on their new medication. So the question ranges from, should I take the medication? I'm worried about the side effects. Is it going to work? So in this video, I'm going to look at, does sertraline really work for depression? I'm going to cover these three topics in this video. Number one, does it really work? How long before I notice any difference? And how long do I need to keep taking the sertraline for? Now, before I answer this question, so you need to watch to the end. What causes depression in the first place? Let's dial back to what causes depression in the first place. One thing I want to say is that life happens. I mean, things like job loss, redundancies, financial problems, exam stress, peer pressure, or bereavement. These things happen in life. Also, you look at chronic illness, it could be diabetes, it could be cancer, it could also be things like stroke or heart attack. So things happen. And when all these things happen, sometimes we lose control. We get entrapped. And also we feel a heavy weight of restlessness and helplessness. Now, when these things happen, the stress level goes up. When the stress level goes up, the body releases what we call cortisol. And then when cortisol is released in the body, what happens? The thing is that it depresses the level of serotonin. So there's a circle here. High level of cortisol, sustained cortisol, because if you're having an issue with job loss or divorce or breakups, and you can't manage it for one thing or the other, it raises your cortisol level. When the cortisol level is sustained, what happens? The thing is that you lose control. You feel aggrieved, you feel bad. And so constant high level of cortisol depresses the level of serotonin. And when serotonin level is depressed in the brain or in the central nervous system, what happens? Then you find yourself in a situation where the cortisol level increases as well. It becomes a loop. So this is what happens. And then that is how depression comes about. So it's about high level. Now, I want to mention that this is one aspect of depression. Depression is not something you can just put in a box and say, this is one aspect of it. I'm looking at it from the point of view of a pharmacist being asked, does sertraline really work for depression? And so high level of cortisol depresses level of serotonin, feeling of helplessness, all this will lead to depression. And so what happens in this case? What do you do when the level of serotonin is low? Before I carry on to answer the question you asked at the beginning, whether sertraline works for depression, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Have you subscribed? I'll be so grateful. Please hit the subscribe button. It's free. And also the notification button. Thank you so much for doing that. So at this stage, what happens with sertraline? Does it really work? Now, the truth is this. Sertraline is what we call selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. What does that mean in layman's terms? See, because the level of serotonin is depressed, you need something that will increase the level in your brain to give you that happy mood. And so when you take sertraline, what it does is that it reduces the synapses absorbing the serotonin. In other words, the serotonin stays in your brain. Like the name mentioned, it's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It inhibits serotonin. So serotonin stays, it doesn't go through the synapse, it stays in your system and increases the level of serotonin. And when that happens, you feel better, you feel happier, and you're able to manage day-to-day activity. So yes, sertraline works in depression because it increases your level of serotonin. All these things I've mentioned in the past, be it divorce, be it breakups, be it exam stress, be it chronic illness, they don't go away. Taking sertraline doesn't make it go away, but the thing is, it makes you feel better. It puts you in a position where you can face these challenges head on. And so this is what sertraline does. Another question people do want to ask me is, so how long do I take it before I get the benefit? Now, what I would say is this. Sertraline, you need to take it every day, ideally in the morning. You take it every day. So I've had somebody come in and say to me, he was prescribed sertraline. He's taking it for only 3 or 4 days and it's not working. Of course, it's not working. I agree with that. The truth is that you need to take your sertraline for between 2 to 6 weeks before you get benefit. So yes, I would say take it for 2 to 6 weeks. Then gradually you get the benefit. It could be that they started you on a lower strength. If you're feeling okay with it, if there's no side effect, your prescriber or your doctor will be in a position to gradually increase the dose to a higher strength. But give it time to work. The last question in this video is, how long? This is where people worry so much about antidepressants. How long are they going to carry on taking this? Is it for life? Now, the guideline says, ideally, you should take your antidepressant for a minimum of 12 months or up to 18 months. So when you feel that you've got the hand, you've got your hand wrapped around your issue, whatever it is, then you can begin to think, when can I stop taking the antidepressant, be it sertraline or any other one? A word of caution here is, if you want to do this, speak to your GP. That's a word of caution. Speak to your prescriber. It's not one of those things you want to just stop so suddenly. So speak to your prescriber, speak to your psychologist, clinical psychologist, speak to your specialist. The doctor will agree. You will have a meeting with your doctor to decide you can gradually stop your sertraline. And that is very important. And so gradual process is important. Starting gradually to reduce how much of it you're taking is very important. And yes, you can stop it if the GP agrees, or if the doctor agrees. Now, before you sign out, I'm going to leave a link in the description in this video, because people have asked, antidepressants and counseling or psychosocial support, which one is better? I've made a video dealing with this. So follow the link on the description in this video and watch antidepressant and counseling. Which one is better? Thank you so much for watching, and see you some other time.